moon, the night wide open. I be with my fingers crossed hoping you will keep your schedule open. I know what you got. I don't want to bring you down, but you fall too far for me. I don't want to make you frown. Stop me if I fall too deep. Would you pick me up? The full moon, the night wide open. I be with my fingers crossed hoping you will keep your schedule open. I know what you got is potent. Ooh, the night this lake club is closing. The tide is high in the ocean. Ooh,
I'll do you the favor, but...
Yeah, you won't have to do that. I do keep it real, but...
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Well, I mean, we just go right into it.
Okay.
Welcome, everybody, to this one time. Today, my guest is Donna Taylor, which I know through Yoga Party Live. And she is a multifaceted individual. You have your fingertips in, I think, a lot of different avenues. But mainly what we're here for today, and we can get into whatever you want. Like I said, this is as open as you want to be, as long as you need to go. But we're here to promote Yoga Party Live at Topgolf, which we're on scene, on location, which I love to do. It just provides like a cool background. And if you're comfortable here, that's my main key is I go to where my guest is comfortable. And that way we can be a little bit more loose.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So
thank you for having me.
No, come on. Thanks for making time for me.
Yes.
But I guess let's just get into it. Like, how did YPL become a thing?
It is such a story. So I'm glad that we do have some time.
Yeah.
Yoga Party Live, a lot of people say, oh, you're so lucky you have this business. But we've been at it since 2016.
Yeah.
And actually, the story that I tell when I teach my bachelorette classes, which is a part of Yoga Party Live, is that I wanted to be a yoga teacher to get free yoga. Basically, that was it. I didn't want to teach anything other than hot yoga. I wanted to teach one class. I do have a day job. And so I'm like, I'm going to do this so I can get free yoga. That was the only reason.
Yeah.
So I went through teacher training, and my ex-husband told me that I was not able to be a good yoga teacher.
Why?
Because I couldn't remember things.
Oh.
And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be the best dang yoga teacher on the planet.
And not only that, but like, which I know you'll bring it up, birthdays are huge. And you know everybody's birthday. Like when they're attending, you're like, this is their birthday month and X, Y, and Z.
I'm a numbers person. Like I remember... people like my high school best friend's birthday, March 29th. My first boyfriend's birthday, March 21st. Like I know
those are all March,
birthdays.
So now I'm just messing
know
with
all
you.
birthdays. In fact, another high school boyfriend, his birthday's January 5th, and
just passed.
Yeah. So we wished him happy birthday. We're still friends.
Awesome. Good.
So I went through teacher training, and I was very motivated because I was told I couldn't do it.
Yeah, so there you go.
And I knew that I could. Actually, I was a little worried, but my trainer, Sumit, who is the founder of Sumit's Yoga, he was like, you're going to be a great yoga teacher. I'm like, really? I mean, it's really important to tell people that, that you see a light in them, you see potential in them. And so he told me that. So I went through training, and the first time I ever taught a class, I just was like, this is exactly what I was put on this earth to do. And it's unfortunate because yoga teachers don't make any money at all. Studio classes, you might make $10 an hour. And the training's a lot of money. So I got an opportunity to go out and teach a bachelorette class. And none of the yoga teachers wanted to teach anything extra. And so I'm like, oh, I will definitely do that.
Yeah, there's a niche to be filled.
Yeah. And just like something fun, like, I want to be a part of someone's bachelorette party. So I drove an hour out there to go teach, and I walked in, and there's 17 girls from Seattle, some random photographer that they brought this guy. I still to this day don't know who he is, but he got some great pictures. Yeah. And none of these girls had yoga mats. And so we did yoga poolside on Cool Deck on beach towels. And it was a pretty rough, it's hard to be on your knees, if you don't have any padding. And so we just had a great time. And that is kind of how Yoga Party Live got started, that I really networked, and I thought this is what it's going to be. That was originally what it was going to be, is just serving bachelorette yoga parties.
So your first, handful of big group events were kind of the bachelorette parties? And then where did the idea come from to maybe reach out to venues and host like a big event?
Yeah, so I love to drink wine. Most of my people know that.
Cheers.
Yeah, exactly. It is my favorite. And I had a lot of great times at Postino. And so I thought, you know what? This is really cool back here because they have a lot of grass and, it's artificial turf. And
shade, and it's just beautiful back there. Yeah.
And actually, to backpedal, I did have someone reach out to me, one of my regulars at the Hot Studio, and said, hey, my friend owns a bar. You should go. He's looking for someone to do yoga. It was the Tipsy Cactus in Mesa.
Okay.
And he hooked up like 50 people attending. And so I did that event. And it wasn't quite a fit with him and his venue and the location.
Yes.
And so when I did that first class, I'm like, I would love to do this somewhere cool. And so I solicited Postino, and they said no. And then I asked them again, and they said no. And I literally asked them a third time, and they said no.
Oh,
and so my friend Allison, who you know, she was looking through Instagram and saw that another Postino was doing yoga on their lawn. And so I texted him and said, hey, Jeff, what's up with this? Like, if they can do it, why can't we? And he goes, gosh, they didn't get permission. And if they didn't ask permission, then, hey, let's go for it.
Yeah, open it up.
Yeah. So that's kind of how it got started. And then literally the way that it works is if someone has you, then I told Whiskey Row, hey, we had 60 people at Postino, and hey, check this out. And then they want it.
Of course.
And then it's crazy how things worked.
Dang, so they said no 3 times, and you were like, I ain't having it.
I'm a salesperson. Yeah. And then what's really cool is on our most wild, it was the wildest. I still remember this class. It was April 15th, 2018.
Oh, shoot.
Crazy class.
Yeah.
Like, I knew it was going to be crazy because I'm laying on my back just starting, and I'm hearing people screaming just like, yes.
Whoa.
And it's like, it's on. It's so on. And we had 100 people packed in there. I didn't think we could fit that many. An associate from Top Golf was at that class.
Oh, okay.
And so the next day I got a call like, hey, we want you to do Cinco de Mayo here. We want you here.
Yeah.
And it's been just such a great relationship with Top Golf. They are my absolute favorite place.
Yeah, it's such a fun place. Well, and you are a golfer.
I am a golfer.
You were a collegiate golfer down at U of A, which you found out. Which, how we met, you were getting your sound system and a microphone, and we met in the parking lot of a Starbucks at like 10:30 at night.
Right.
And you're like, yeah, I'm using this to teach yoga. And I was like, I teach yoga, for my little workout group. And you're like, yeah. And I was also a golfer. I was like, I love golf. I was like, stop right there. I said, I'm going to keep you here all night. And you invited me out to your first event. It was so much fun. Yeah. And I've been to every one since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is like the highlight of my month because we only do it once a month. Before COVID hit, we were every single week.
Oh, wow.
Which kind of honestly is just too much. And it was burning me out a little bit. And I like doing it monthly because we do honor the birthdays, which I believe this is your birthday month.
Yeah, my birthday is the 18th.
The 18th. So our next event is here at Top Golf on January 23rd. And if you make it, because I understand you might
I will be in Vegas because my nephew's turning 18 on the 19th, but I do plan to be back Saturday night and well rested and hopefully not too hungover from Vegas to get my stretch on. And if I am, a little, if I go a little too wild in Vegas, which people haven't been known to, then I will come and detox. Right. And then a little hair of the dog.
Right, exactly. So our tagline is detox then retox. And we've had a lot of people actually say, oh, you just teach drunk yoga. And it's like, you know what? There are a lot of partiers that come to us, but we have people who are in recovery. You do not have to drink at our events. You can drink water. You can leave afterwards. Top Golf's great because you can, just play golf afterwards for a discount. They do discount the golf.
Nice.
So it really is for everyone. And we have been labeled that, which, when you're successful, people do, we have some people who, it is what it is.
And some people turn up their nose at people having fun.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
Exactly.
But it's totally fun. And yeah, I tell folks too that maybe aren't too serious about yoga, where I'm like, hey, it's fun. It's a really fun event. Maybe have a mimosa or something and just kind of relax and do a posture here and there. But it's the vibe. It's the environment. The people that you're attracting to this event is they're phenomenal. Everybody is so nice.
Your vibe attracts your tribe.
I like that.
Yep, it's completely true. People who have not liked it, they have just not been like a good fit for us.
Yeah.
And the people who do fit with us, it's like, where have you been all my life type of thing. You know, just people who they're going to turn out to be your best friend. But that really is a barrier for people coming. If they come one time, they see that, oh, I don't have to be like a yoga expert. Yoga really turns a lot of people off because they think it's too serious. They think it's boring.
Or I'm not flexible. That's the big thing. I'm just not flexible. It's like, well, is that something you can definitely work at, just like anything else?
And I love to say, it's like telling someone that you don't want to go to the dentist, you know, because your tooth hurts. You know, it's like if you aren't flexible, then you need to stretch your body.
You need to lean into it more.
Yeah, you do. So we do get if I had $1 for every person that says I'm not flexible, I don't think I can do it. You know, and my other brand is working with athletes. Yeah. And they're mostly guys. So, and I know that you work with men with yoga. Yeah. And it's like guys are not flexible at all. No and way. I think that I'm able to really help people feel, this is what they tell me, that I make them feel good, that they can do anything. You know, that they don't have, they feel confident.
Well, you almost feel limited if you can't like do a certain pose or a certain stretch. Like if you can't touch your toes, like that, to me in my mind, it's just like, well, I would just feel limited at that point. And if you're able to bring somebody to the point where they can maybe reach like an inch or 2 inches further than they could, like that's major progress and a major like booster in your, your self-image.
Well, and for my football guys, because I am Higley's football yoga coach, I've been with them 6 seasons. So I love it. In that case, you know, if someone can't touch their toes, like I actually don't expect them to touch their toes. The way that I work around it is the more muscle you have on your body, the tighter you are. So you can default to, I'm super muscular, so of course I can't touch my toes. But if you bend into your knees, try and have your fingers touch your toes. If you can't do it, bend your knees more. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you can touch your toes. What matters is you feel the stretch, and that's what we're looking for. So I have a lot of verbiage to Yoga Party Live people, to my athletes. It doesn't matter. If you're feeling stretch and you're progressing in your body, that's all you're looking to do. And
a separate compartment for the verbiage you use for bachelorette parties, I'm sure.
Yes, exactly.
You have to reach into a different toolbox for that.
Those girls, oh my gosh. I did 2 this weekend, and I mean, they are just out to have a good time. And I really meet the most incredible women. They come from out of town, typically. Mm-hmm. I have physical therapists, I have hygienists, I have nurses, doctors, and these girls are in their 20s. Yeah. And so it's incredible to see the quality of women that come in. Yeah. And just how tight-knit the groups are. And I think what's really neat is that if you think about going to a bachelor party or me going to a bachelorette party, you don't always know everybody.
Yes.
And so when I come in, one of my goals, I have a lot of them, is to get people so they like know each other better and they've had this experience with each other. Yeah. And so the rest of the weekend, they feel more connected.
Yeah, and you work through something. It's a physical activity that can be strenuous, you know, depending on how deep you want to go into these stretches. Yeah. That moments like that bring people closer together, groups closer together. That's why anytime you do like some sort of summer camp or some big group activity and it's physically grueling, like, you know, you had to like look to your left and right and look for support from this group. So yeah, it just brings you closer together. Just why sports in general is such a big morale booster for a lot of people.
I agree. Yeah. Sports. So many people give, jocks like a bad name, but it's like I see so much growth in my football team and the lessons that they learn. I mean, just down to like the coach told the boys, hey, you guys never show up at someone's house without something. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't have any money, you find a cookie and bring it. Yeah. You pick a rose and you bring it. Whatever you need to do. And so I started thinking, man, like that is such a good lesson for a young man. Yes. And then we got a puppy who you met, Tatum.
Yeah. Yep.
And when we picked her up, I thought, you know what? I'm going to bring this breeder some flowers. And she had never received any gift when the puppy was picked up. And she was like, just unbelievably grateful.
Taken aback.
So I learned.
And you learned, and that was something that a jock, what people say, a jock of a coach is telling his other jocks in the room. Yeah. And here you are implementing it in your own life. And that person was just super grateful for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you imagine, if they're a breeder, they see tons of people.
And they take care of your dog for 2 months before you pick it up.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's something to really, be appreciative of.
Yeah. Treasure that moment.
The calm before the storm, you pick them up.
It's like if you have a surrogate, you better make sure that, the woman carrying your child is hey, have all their needs covered.
Yeah,
and never wanting more, right? So let's talk about your college career in golf.
So my dad played on the PGA Golf Tour.
Mm-hmm.
Before I was born, he played only, a lot of people are like, what's his name? And he never really made it out there. It was like he would travel from place to place in a car with my mom, and he'd miss the cut by a stroke.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great golfer, but he just really struggled. Yeah. So he's like, I'm just going to have a child. I'm the oldest of 2. And I'm going to be a head pro. So I grew up like the golf pro's daughter and started playing at the age of 7. And I loved it. I was like picking the golf range. When I was 8 years old, I'd clock in. It was a VW Bug, a beat up one that had a range picker on the front. And I would driving a stick on the golf course at 8 years old, picking up golf balls.
Oh, nice.
And so just grew up, playing junior golf in Northern California.
Okay, I was about to ask, NorCal. Okay.
Yeah, NorCal. And then when I was about, I think, 16, I started playing on the AJGA golf circuit, which now is like extremely exclusive. It was and it's American Junior Golf Association, where you would fly all over the place and play in golf tournaments. And it had just kind of gotten started. Now you have to actually qualify to play in those events. Before it was just like your handicap is this and you can play. And so I think through that exposure, I got a full ride scholarship to the University of Arizona.
Nice.
And I was on a 5-year ride, and I played a year. I'm like, I hate golf. I don't ever want to play again. So that was my first breakup with golf. I've had a couple breakups with golf.
Yeah.
And it just was really tough because I was away at school, and I was away from home. It's a long ways, and we just were all over the place. And I wasn't in school. I didn't have any friends other than on the golf team, and I had to practice a lot. And I really wasn't a big practicer. Like I was like, hey, I'll hustle you and let's go out and play golf. And I'd play golf at my dad's course, and I wouldn't just sit and grind it out and be chipping for 3 hours.
Gotcha.
So it just was a different level, and I just really didn't want golf to be my career. And that was the path that I was on.
Well, I guess you almost wanted to find like your own path, right? Because it was like, well, you're the PGA pro's daughter, and you've been doing it for, at that point, have been at least 10 years. Serious.
And I loved being around golf, so I quit playing completely. But I told my dad, I really want to be around it. Like, golfers are cool, and I like being around it. So he actually taught me how to teach. Just because you know how to play well doesn't mean you know how to instruct someone.
No, it's totally different.
It's so different. So he spent time with me teaching me how to teach, and I was instructing women because they were like, we need a girl. Like, we get so many requests for female instructors because they feel nervous about taking from a guy.
Yeah.
And so I was a golf instructor, and for probably, I think, 8 years.
Okay.
And worked in a restaurant and went to school locally in the Bay Area.
Okay, so back to California.
Yeah. So I went back home, and I loved it. I mean, a lot of people are like, you need the college experience, but I worked in a restaurant. I taught golf. Yeah, I didn't need that.
Yeah.
And I'm fine because now I'm the one that lives away, and they all live close together, my family.
Yeah.
So
you have a younger brother or sister?
I have a younger sister.
Okay.
Who's very different from me. She's super nice. She's the nice one. People would always go, your sister's so nice.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, I think I'm pretty nice, but I guess I'm not like as nice as her. I don't know. I'm more like straightforward, I guess.
Yeah.
She's a mommy. She's a school teacher, and I'm more of like a hustler, like a scrapper.
Yeah.
I like to have a game of golf for $50 and
push the envelope a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And siblings are very different.
They are incredibly different, which I'm learning with my 6 and 7-year-old. Under the same household, same parents,
right?
And completely different. Like, they both enjoy coming to Topgolf, and
but they should come this time if they can.
Yeah, I had to see if the schedule lines up because I'll be just coming into town.
Yeah,
and I had to see what their Sunday schedule is looking like. But Micah loves it. He's a total athlete. I literally say he's a meathead. Like true and true, everything physical. And my daughter's the creative artist side. They got both my sides, my athletic and my creative side, and they're just completely different. It is really nice, and I think I'll be able to see them flourish more than I did because I love to do so many different things that I don't focus on one, and I can see them really sinking in their teeth into one or the other. Whereas me, I was just like, well, that's fun, let me do that. Oh, that's fun, let me do that. That's fun. Oh, that's interesting. And like I like to do lots and lots of different things. Yeah. So I think I have a wide range of, interests and kind of like little hobby things that I know. Nothing that actually makes me money other than working at the music store. But it's going to be interesting to kind of see where they go with maybe being a little bit more focused. Yeah. And maybe I can, hone that in for them a little bit.
Because I think that's the important thing. Like with yoga, I have assisted in a lot of teacher trainings, and one of the classes that I teach is marketing yourself. And I think having a niche, having something different, like when people say who's your competition, it's like I don't really see it that I have any competition. Like I am me, I do my thing. Like some of my regulars, Kimberly, she teaches at the courthouse in Chandler on Sundays. So like my event is at 9. She may attend. I'm not sure if she is or not. And then she goes and teaches her own. And she's a different person than I am. Like we're friends. I would love her. But it just, everyone has their own thing. And I told her, you guys get a lot of gym people. Like if I were you, I would focus more on like this type of class. And with mine, we just get a lot of non-yoga people. I mean, most of the people who come,
it's like their first time.
Yeah, it's their first time. And this is what's hilarious. They become regulars where they come before it was every week, and they don't own yoga mats because I provide yoga mats.
You have tons of yoga mats.
Like Sean, who's my number one guy. I'm like, Sean, you don't have a yoga mat? He goes, no, I just use yours.
Sean still doesn't have a yoga mat?
No.
Oh my gosh.
And so that's the types of people that
he's doing headstands. I know. Like he's pretty advanced.
Well, and his headstand was horrible when he first started doing it. Like he put his hands out like really crazy, and I was like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to do this. And he looks so much better.
Yeah. His form is great.
His form is good, but I need to teach him how to do his reverse. Yeah, on his headstand.
His headstand, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I just feel like my neck is going to crush.
Yeah, well, I could teach you how to do that. That's one of the things I love to teach my bachelorettes because I get a lot of like gymnasts and dancers, and they haven't done a headstand in 10 years. And I'm like, hey, let's go up, and this is how you guys do it. I don't do a ton of instructing, but if I see like they really want to do it.
You see something in them, yeah.
Yeah, like hey, you guys want to learn how to do this? Yeah, we do. And so I'll give them a little something to take home. But Sean, a lot of people, they don't have yoga mats. Yeah. And they, so my classes are more geared towards, hey, you can do this, just have fun. If your yoga looks horrible, we don't care. You have to have fun. If you're a grouch, that's what we care about. Like, we only want good vibes.
Yeah, good vibes. That's big. Like, just come out and have fun, because that's the big thing about my workout group is I tell people, I was like, the hardest part is getting out of bed in the morning and making it out. So if you show up to the Yoga Party Live event, you've already done the hardest part, is just getting your ass down here to have some fun. That's the hardest part. And then from there, I mean, you can make it harder if you want, but that's step one. You're 80% of the way there, and the rest is just, let's kind of go through the motions. Not really motions, because you take a lot of pride in your playlists.
Oh my gosh.
They definitely get the booty shaken.
My playlists take forever to make, and that's why I do recycle them at times, but I'll just like replace a few songs. Like I have disco playlists, I have 80s playlists, 90s, hip hop. And so we do theme things.
I think you got a request for like a house/techno night.
I know, and I haven't done that one yet. But so I'll take songs and I'll just throw them into a folder, and then when that comes, you have to like sequence your playlist.
Yeah, because we got to get the warm up and all of that. Yep. And then the group holds. What do we call those?
The partner poses?
Partner poses, that's the one.
That's a highlight.
Yeah, that is a huge thing.
Those started with the bachelorettes, because like, as we were talking, to get them together and to get them like feeling like, okay, you're my buddy. Like, let's say I don't even know you. I'm doing a partner pose with you. We're laughing. We're having a good time. And so they were just like, this is awesome. And so I was like, I'm going to try it in the group. And it literally is the highlight.
Yeah.
People love it.
Yeah, it's a big thing. It's like, who's going to be your partner, you know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And
like
some people don't
dance.
have them. I know.
Like the school dance, yeah.
Yeah, and one of my previous helpers had said, you need to make sure that you ask, you know, hey, if anyone doesn't have a partner, we will find one for you.
Yeah.
And then, you know, with the COVID thing going on, I'm really aware of, okay, I'm not going to do, because, I mean, we have partner poses where you are standing face to face and you hug each other and you do a back bend. I haven't done that one in 2 years, you know, for obvious reasons.
Yes.
And then there's different twists, seated twists I can do. And one of them, you face each other, seated, and one, you're back to back. So I've defaulted to, okay, I'm going to do back to back if we're going to do it. And you know what? If you don't want to do it, then you can just do them solo, even though it is a partner pose. It does root from a solo pose. So, you know, you can do whatever you
Yeah, which
like.
is fine. I think I've been
anything
solo.
goes.
I've been solo a couple times. So
and it's all good.
We're still doing yoga.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I definitely... I love yoga. I've always been a stretcher, so I've always prided myself in my flexibility.
Yeah.
I always played sports, so people would hate that I would take like 10 to 15 minutes to stretch. I'm like, listen, guys, I need to stretch. That's just what I do if I want to come out and, you know, compete in any sort of sport, you know, basketball, volleyball, you know, ultimate frisbee, whatever it was. I was always stretching. So once I don't know how yoga came about. I think it was really when I started to lose all the weight, because I got up to about 255.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the married life, great cook at home, you know, that's how it goes. And she was more of an introvert, and I'm super like, let's get out, but you know how it goes. I started, you know, taking in a lot of information, and I was like, well, what am I doing with all this information if I'm not gonna, you know, taking it in if I'm not gonna utilize it? And so I started doing like P90X type stuff, Insanity, that one. And then went super minimalist. And when I went to like minimalist shoes, everybody's like talking about yoga. And I was like, okay, let me find a yoga channel on YouTube. And I found this guy that was also doing like some Pilates, yoga for athletes, he calls himself. And I just took off doing it in the garage, which I love, because you say hot yoga. Yeah, that garage gets up to like 120, 24 during the summer. And I would love to get in there and just have a puddle below me. It's such a great feeling. And then you feel so good afterwards. And of course, there's Shabasana, which, you know, one of the hardest poses in yoga is just to lay still. Yeah. We're so used to moving. Oh, I'm jittery. I'm playing with my fingers.
And especially athletes.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Because if you're not moving, then, I don't know, maybe you just feel like you're standing still, like in general. But that's one of the big takeaways from yoga is being able to sit still and be in your own mind for, you know, an hour and a half, and, you know, battle your inner demons.
It's very challenging. It really is. I like to, with my athletes and younger kids, it's very interesting. They want Shavasana, which is the part at the end, for those of you out there that don't know, where you just lay on your back.
It's the best part.
It's the best part. People love it. But like you said, some people do struggle with it because they're fidgety and they don't want to be with their thoughts. They have things they're working through, and they don't want to meditate. They don't want to be present. They just, I mean, it's very interesting what you hear as a yoga teacher. Yeah. So, but I've noticed that teenagers, they love Shavasana. They love it. And they could sit in it for 15 minutes. And I feel like adults really aren't that way. Yeah. They just love it. I mean, it's very cool to see.
For teenagers, that's interesting.
Yeah, because that's basically who my athletes are. They are sophomores to seniors, and then they graduate and leave, and now I'm watching them on college game day. It's really cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you're...
Someday I'll have a pro out there. I don't know who it's going to be first, but I mean, it's really exciting.
Should we start a pool?
We could. I don't know. I think Ty Robinson, he's probably my top most recruited player that I've had at Higley.
Like scouted?
Yeah. He went to, I believe he's at Nebraska.
Okay.
Nebraska. Are they the Cornhuskers?
Ooh, you're asking the wrong guy.
I think he's at Nebraska.
I don't follow
Sorry,
sports like
Ty,
I should.
if I have the wrong school, but he's at a really amazing school, and he was being recruited like crazy. And he's a defensive lineman, and it was really interesting because he came up to me, and he's a little shy, and he looked 30. I was like, is this guy an assistant coach? And he's like, no, he's like a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
And he said, you know what? With me having this yoga, I am I'm more flexible and I can reach these quarterbacks and sack
Exactly.
them so much better.
Exactly, because it allows you way more mobility to do fish moves, and you're really working your core instead of these isometric, exercises that everybody's used to build muscle. And it's like building muscle is great, but if you don't have the flexibility or the explosiveness to kind of utilize it to its potential, it's that's not my goal. Yeah,
they really get it, and it's really cool because I see them. Well, what I do as an instructor, especially with my athletes, is that I talk to them in my language because I am an athlete. Like I am I played every sport in high school.
Well, and like you say, you're a hustler and you work a sales gig, so it's like how to connect and how to attack a goal as well.
And so the way that I instruct them is I tell them why they are doing something, how this is going to benefit you. And that is kind of a salesperson thing. I am trying to sell them, like, you need to do this. And for Shavasana, for example, if someone, when I first start, actually breath is a better example.
Yes.
Focus on your breath. And I just thought, why? This is so boring. Like, why do I need to do this? But if someone tells me that if I focus on my breath, I will be more present and I will perform better, and this will take strokes off my game, it's like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
If someone tells me that I'm going to get more power out of my golf swing because I'm working on twists and I have more flexibility and I'm going to generate more power and hit it longer, then I'm going to do it. And so a lot of my instruction with them is to tell them, this is what you're stretching, this is how it's helping you. And they just completely are on board with it, which I love. They're passionate about it and they focus and they try. And that's really amazing.
Yeah, because you're giving them a feature and benefit of what they're doing and how they're able to apply it to themselves. And so you're not just selling them on the move, but you're selling them on their future self.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to be capable of if you follow these movements. And breath work is huge.
It really
breath work is huge.
But it can be really boring and weird if you don't really understand why it's important.
Yeah. It's important to breathe through the nose. You get more oxygen in, believe it or not, through the nose, more oxygenated blood. And breathing controls your heart rate, which, will control your mind if you can stay calm. So in those pressure situations, but you become more efficient the better you can breathe. And breathing just feels, it's like so natural. It's like, why do we have to work at it? It's just breathing. No, but if you work at elongating your breaths and holding them, you're able to ask more of your body, which I experienced firsthand recently when we were doing a 9/11 memorial stair climb with my workout group. So we hit the downtown Gilbert parking garage. We start at the top. It's 5 flights down, 5 flights up. We do that 24 times, something like that. Wow. With rucks, so weighted. So I had 30 pounds in my back, and I go down and up 4 times, and I'm still breathing through my nose because I was doing yoga. That's when I was doing it every week. Yeah. And just focusing on breathing just solely through my nose. And I look, the guys behind me that I'm just lapping are just like, just dogging it. And I'm just like, breath work, guys. This is what I've been telling you as I'm trying to instruct you guys on yoga. Like this leads to you being more efficient when you need to do some quote unquote man shit, Yeah. It really does. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and what's interesting is my Higley football coach, Eddie Zuby, he takes the class when I instruct. And that's
I
huge.
worked, no other coach has done that.
Like leading by example.
Exactly. And so, I'll tell the team that if you inhale through your mouth, it triggers your body to panic, actually. So in through your nose, it is a calming and it is slow and it creates a calmness. Yeah. And so he came up to me once and was like, Donna, I did that a couple times where I just inhaled through my mouth really fast. And he goes, it does make you really shaky. Yeah. And so it's just really neat to see how people get it. And most people out there, 99% of people breathe very fast and shallow, through, just they don't breathe low all the way up and take the full breath
with
as
your
you're
diaphragm.
Talking. Yeah. And it's just this shallow breathing, and it just creates this chaos. And so it's really nice to, when people say I have anxiety or, I just can't focus, it's like, well, just take some slow, deep breaths through your nose. Yeah. And it seems like a totally cheeseball thing to say, but it really works.
It really does. When somebody's having a panic attack, what are they doing?
Yeah, exactly.
And you're freaking your body out. It's already freaking out up here, but now physically you're on another plane. And that's, if you can bring it back down to baseline, and that's where the training comes into play.
Yeah. It's a wonderful thing to be able to help people in different situations. Like you were saying, your ex-wife was a great cook.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's really a neat thing for a woman. Like someone is having problems in their life. And so you can cook them something and bring them dinner or bake them cookies or something. Well, for me, I am not a cook at all. Like I don't cook. I've burned water. I've like messed up making
I think that's the next
macaroni.
video.
Oh,
that's the next video is you making some like fancy dish.
it is. Oh, I try so hard, and it's like actually I can get really lean by cooking because I don't want to eat what I cook. Yeah, it's horrible. But like, so this yoga for me, one of the neat things is that I am able to give something to someone. Like I've worked with a lot of cancer patients, just like a pro bono, like, hey, you know what? And I approach them like, hey, you know what? I know that you need help. I would love to come over to your house. You can be in bed. I prefer you to be, maybe we can put a mat down on the floor, but I'll meet you wherever you are. You just close your eyes. I'm going to read to you and do yoga nidra to you. And that's Lori Ledley. I don't know if you know, she's a redhead. She's living in Coronado briefly right now, but she's one of my best friends, and we met because she was one of my students at the Hot Studio, and she got breast cancer, and she was very sick from chemo, and I asked her husband, hey, can I come over? And I had just learned how to do yoga nidra, which is like people call it sleepy time yoga, and it's a guided meditation.
Gotcha.
It's like meditation on training wheels. Like you just listen, and it's incredible.
I'm almost thinking like maybe a little bit of hypnosis sprinkled in there, kind of like that vibe.
Yes, and it's very strategic how, I did a 16-hour training only. Some people are trained 500 hours on how to do yoga nidra, but in the middle you can implant positive I am statements, and so I get into like the healing properties of the body and just like really like leaving them where they feel like they're going to beat it. And I've worked with 5 cancer patients, and I've lost 2 out of 5. And both the 2 that I lost were lung, and it was really bad, stage 4. But you know what? It's like, this is something that I can give. And before that, most women can cook something up and just like deliver something and like, oh, that's amazing. But now my gift, what I can give is my time with them with yoga, getting through, something challenging, or helping an athlete get a scholarship. Or, I had one lady come right here on the terrace and was hugging me, crying and saying, I lost my husband. I think he was in a snowmobile accident, something like that. And she's like, I have been so depressed for 2 years. This is the first time I've been out. And she's like, thank you so much. Like, you brought joy to my life for an hour. And it's like, it's a privilege and an honor to like be doing what I do and have people really like take to it and love it. Like I feel very grateful. Yeah,
you should. And if people haven't attended, the people that have already know, but like the vibe that you put on here, it touches individuals where I literally felt welcomed the second I stepped in. And I was like, yeah, this is so cool.
And you've met a lot of friends, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean,
that's a neat thing.
We went to a birthday party the last time we were here. It's like, okay, let's go. Like
we become best friends, and everybody is different. Like if somebody is a weird person, okay, and what is weird? It's whatever.
We're all weird.
But we are all weird, and that's the thing. If you are authentically your weird self, like we will love you.
That's the difference.
That's the cool.
Your key word. You said authentic.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to hide your weirdness, we're gonna see right through that. Yeah. And it's like, if you embrace it, like you'll be way more welcome.
Do you notice how all the friends, like they are all very different, and they all have their own personalities, and everyone is just themselves. And I just love all of our followers, because if you are a follower, then you are just really authentic, and you just, hey, this is me.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah. That's a key difference that people will notice when they show up to your event if they haven't been before, is just the authenticity and the family vibe that you kind of get.
Yeah.
And some people might not want to hear like a family vibe, like their family might be like super dysfunctional, but I mean that's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, and we are getting more kids. Just because of, friends that I have, they bring their kids. And I think that's really a good thing. Just moms, Crystal, who was at the birthday party. She arrived with her daughter, and she's a single mom, and she's like, this is something cool I can do with my daughter. And I mean, I have all sorts of pictures with her daughter going under her endowed dog, and just really bonding things that moms can do with their kids and dads. I mean, we have families that show up, and I mean, it's just a unique thing, and especially here at Top Golf.
Yeah, exactly.
They can stay if they'd like, and even if a guy's like, hey, I don't know about this, like I'm too manly to do yoga, then they can hang at the bar. They can wait and hit golf balls, and then see, oh, there are a lot of guys out there. I mean, there's not a ton, but we're getting more and more guys, and I think the guys are like, why wouldn't another guy do this? Like, especially if you're single, like we have like the coolest girls, and they're like adorable and fun. So
yeah, 2 thumbs up there.
Right? Exactly.
It's just it's a fun vibe, and everybody's super cool.
Yeah.
It's literally been like that. Like that's why you got me. I'm hooked.
Yeah.
I keep coming and coming. Yeah, and now with the Top Golf being one of your main venues.
Yeah, I really want to be. We're going to be here mostly throughout the year. I'm probably going to do one at Whiskey Row. That's one of my originals because everybody loves country yoga.
Okay.
And it is fun. They're just a little busier, but they have really good space.
Yes.
And it's downtown Gilbert, so that's a neat vibe.
Yep.
We'll do one there. And then we're over at Wicks, which is attached to the gun club, which sounds like a weird fit, but you've been there.
Yeah, it was my first time.
It is so cool.
And they put up new lights up there.
Yep.
So it's like the vibe, again, is just super cool.
It is amazing. They have string lights, they have wooden floors, and they don't care, like, hey, you guys can do yoga. Like, we can be late, we can be loud, we can do whatever we want up there. Yeah. It's just, and we do yoga glow. So for those of you out there, like yoga glow, think strobe lights, glow glasses, glow sticks,
neon paint,
face paint. Like it's really awesome.
And also, since it's it's always the end of the world, we're on top of a gun store, so if there's a zombie apocalypse, like we're good.
Right.
We're good. You ain't got to worry.
It's so fun.
It's right where you need to be: a bar and grill and a gun club.
Oh my gosh, it is. That was the hardest thing when we started going over there. And it was because we didn't have anywhere else we could go. And so one of my regulars was like, hey, I know the owner of Wicks Restaurant, which is attached to the gun club. I'm like, oh, I don't really know about this. And then I went up top, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is the most incredible space ever. We can fit 150 people there.
Yeah,
if
easily.
we really wanted to. I may need to buy a couple more speakers from you, but
and more mats maybe.
Right. I don't know. I have 100 mats. And if I do call people out, like, hey, you guys, we have like quite the crowd. Please bring your yoga mats if you have them. But I think people they don't want to have them and leave them behind, so they just rely on us bringing them, and that's cool.
That's all right.
We're happy to do that.
Yeah, you got a good team behind you.
We definitely do. Lots of helpers.
Who's like still around from like the beginning that was like day one, like already on board helping?
Wow, we have a lot actually.
Yeah.
So Lori, who I mentioned, she was at my original class. She is building a custom house in Los Angeles, so she's living in Coronado while that house is being built. So she's not a regular right now, but she came to my yoga retreat because I do some yoga retreats.
That was in Sedona?
It was in Sedona.
Gotcha.
Yep. So she's still definitely around. Allison, who you've met, she was at my very first class, and she's born in July, and our first class at Postino was July 17th, and it was Alice. I had a birthday song for Allison, so we've always recognized birthdays.
Yeah.
Tamala, has been around from day one.
Really?
She filmed the class.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
She did a video. She's done a ton for my business. Tamala, she does websites. She created our logo, which I think our logo is absolutely incredible.
That's pretty good.
So and we call them OGs. So Tamala's an OG, Lori, and Allison. I think those are the 3 OGs that we still have around.
Okay. Man, that's a good track record.
Yeah, I mean, because it's been since 2017. So what would that be? That'd be 5 years.
We're going. Yeah, this will be the 5-year. What's the gift that you give on a 5-year anniversary?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. But we're this year. We have a lot of new things going on. We would normally do paddleboard yoga.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, and I don't know where you're at on as far as announcing that, but you're thinking about.
I am going to do it.
Okay.
So I did decide last week. Every year we've done paddleboard yoga.
Yeah.
And paddleboard yoga people love. Like we sell out every year. We do it at the Salt River. And parking is rough, very rough. And it's gotten worse where people have been threatened their car is going to be towed and there's really nowhere to park.
Party bus, right?
Well, so I'm not going to do paddleboard yoga this year. This year we're going to do a half-day trip, a kayak trip. We're going to start out at Swirl Lake Guest Ranch, which I am their yoga teacher out there. And so they have this beautiful lower lawn that overlooks the Salt River right by the dam of Swirl Lake.
Yeah.
And then the superstitions. And I teach out there quite a bit. And it literally is like heaven on earth. Like when you are down there, I mean, you just cannot be in a bad mood.
Yeah.
It's just, it would be impossible. Even if you were terminal, it would be your one moment to like be down there for an hour and just go, I am so lucky to be on this planet.
Yeah.
And so we're going to start there and we're going to do yoga. And then they load kayaks right there on their property. So we don't have to worry about parking. There's an address, like Granite Reef is where we would enter. It's really hard to be, okay, you go here. I mean, it's like grassroots, like at the turn, you turn left, there's no address really.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So now we have an address. You go to Swirl Lake Guest Ranch. We have yoga. Then we'll be able to all kayak down the river together. As many people that want to go.
Yeah.
It's a 2-hour kayak trip. They pick us up, bring us back, and then we're going to have lunch together at the ranch, and it'll probably be like a 5-hour day.
Nice.
And it just will be fun because I never really get to participate. I just like load these paddle boards up and then I'm on my paddle board just barking, instructions to people, and it's just really hard. And people love it. But I think we're going to give this kayak trip a shot. And I think people will like it more. There's just more involved. And again, it's like going to be bonding, like I envision taking my paddle and splashing people. There's no drinks allowed on the river though. So I'm thinking, creativity. We'll
just have to pre-game pretty hard.
Yeah, pre-game, or I don't know. There's other ways around it, I guess.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We're pretty not intuitive, but God, my vocabulary is crap today. I can't think of these
I think
words.
You're good. So that's new this year, and then I'm doing 3.
Wait, is that?
It's going to be
spring?
August 7th.
Oh, so you got plenty of time.
So it's a ways out.
Yeah.
You
Plan's
really
a plan.
Yeah, and I'm a big planner.
Yeah, I don't get like some people are like, that's too far in advance. Tell me later, and I was like, no, it's the whole point is
save the date.
There it is, save the date. I don't understand it.
And what's happening too, I think that because people want to get out and do things, that you cannot wait till the last minute. Like if I tried to book this 3 months in advance, it would already be taken. Yeah. So I've just secured the spot, and it'll be a little tricky because people at Yoga Party Live, they like to sign up last minute. Like we used to get the majority.
Not this time, guys.
I know.
Not this time.
Oh, is that there? Oh, I didn't even realize that. Oh, okay. Hello. But I think that people the majority of my clients will register 2 to 3 days early.
Yeah.
Only. And it was becoming a little bit of a problem because the venues would say, "Hey Donna, how many people are coming?" Because they want to staff a bartender.
Exactly.
They want to have enough help. But now that we are only doing monthly events, I mean, right now we already have 50 people signed up, and we aren't going for another week and a half.
Yeah.
So likely we will be selling out. I would guess within 5 days.
Yeah.
I think this weekend will probably sell out. And so that helps where people are like, hey, if I want to go, I'm going to sign up. And so then we have more people in advance. So it is quite a ways out. And even our yoga retreat, like it's not until November, and I'm almost sold out for that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And that's women only. And Sean.
It is. No, but I did tell Sean, I did tell him that we are hiking Devil's Bridge.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's a public place, and, there's nothing that can really be done if you happen to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, I just would really love him to go, but we have always had it all women.
Yeah.
And, we've had some amazing moments where, I mean, people are pouring their heart out, just things, barriers that they're trying to get over. But I am going to do a Coed retreat in Portland, Oregon.
Oh,
in September.
Why Portland?
Because one of my attendees from the last retreat lives in Portland. So she traveled to go to this.
Okay.
In Sedona. And she owns a company. She owns a CBD company.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And she is like majorly into yoga, hot yoga.
Ooh.
And she wants to host a yoga retreat at her house where she has acres of property and she has a barn and a pool and all sorts of really cool things.
Yeah.
And so we're not going to have people sleep over, but it'll be a 3-day retreat where people will stay wherever they live. Or if we have some Yoga Party Live people that want to go, maybe we'll get like a VRBO.
Yeah.
And then come in and it'll be 3 solid days and we'll have a glow party. But we're going to be teaching some really hard, it'll be my most yoga focused.
Vigorous yoga, yeah.
Yes, where we're going to have different modalities. Like we're having all sorts of different types of yoga that I won't be teaching, that instructors will be coming in and teaching that.
Okay.
And so I'm going to teach my specialty and then they're coming in and teaching their specialty. And that will be an opportunity where I told Sean about it. But he's like, people from Portland don't like me. I'm like, why? I still don't know. Yeah. I have no idea. Yeah. But at least it'll be an opportunity for guys to go. And apparently there's a lot of men in that area that really want to do it. So
I would imagine, the whole West Coast is probably pretty yoga centric.
Yeah,
I would imagine so. And Denver, we'll throw Denver in there, right? Or
yes.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And a change of scenery too.
Yes.
Real green. And it's a destination. It's like that vibe you get from like a bachelorette party where they're all coming in from out of state, or out of town at least.
Yeah.
And it has like a different smell to it, right?
Yeah. And it's going to be in September, and that's like the best time there. Gotcha. So September we'll be doing that. And then the Pretty House. Have you met the Pretty House girls?
I think so. I think they were here last time we were at Top Golf.
Oh, yeah.
And then the superhero theme one, I think. And then there was, or was it the Halloween?
Halloween.
Halloween.
Yeah.
And then she normally does a giveaway for you, right?
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're great. So Michelle Campbell and Bree, they own the Pretty House, and it's interesting. A lot of people will hire me for things such as, I have a fundraiser, will you do this? Or I want to throw a yoga party for my customers, And so they had said, we want to throw one for our customers. Would you do this? And I said, yeah. How many people do you think you'll have? And she said, probably 20 people. And most people who say they're going to have 20 people, they have 3 people.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I just brought my portable speakers, and their business is just south of downtown Gilbert, adorable little area. And so I brought 20 yoga mats, and we had 50 people.
Dang.
And I didn't have my mic. I didn't have my big sound system.
Oh, so you had to belt out everything.
And I can have a loud voice, and it was fine, but it would have been better to have the sound system. But that's like how cool they are, that they always have people attending and following them, and their business, like you go in there and it's like the best vibe. They do skincare. And, a lot of people are, think that I'm younger than I am, and I give it to them because I go there once a month.
Yeah.
They do incredible work.
What are you, 39, right?
Hey, I'll take it. My goal is always to look 10 years younger. So
there you go.
I do get the 30s, and I give it to them.
Dang.
Yeah. I get 35. That's what I was getting, but I don't know. I think it's just maybe people are trying to kiss my ass or something, But I'm doing a yoga retreat with the Pretty House.
Okay.
In Rocky Point.
Oh, nice. Down in Mexico.
Yes. And that is going to be our least yoga-focused retreat. So I am alongside with them, and I am bringing fun yoga, glow party yoga, and I like to teach foundations. That's why I would love to work with Sean on a few things, because his yoga is good, but he needs to learn just a few things. It's just to give foundations. So you don't have to be an expert, but you kind of know what you're trying to do, and a little bit of the philosophy about it, and just what it's about. So I'm bringing that, and then we're going to play. We've really gotten into pickleball.
I've seen that.
Yeah, it's
and
so
people
fun.
Get aggressive out there, right?
You know what? I haven't had much aggression.
No.
But I probably am the aggressor.
That's why.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching out for you.
Indoor soccer, and I'll tell you, that's how I hurt my knee.
Oh, really?
I would just get super aggressive. Like if I had a bad day,
Oh, you're taking
slam
it
up
out
against
on
Well, people. It was in the Bay Area, so we just had a lot of nasty girls who were rude, and I am very nice. Not as nice as my sister, but
that we know.
Right now we know that. But I don't let people take advantage of me. Yep. I'm nice, and then it comes to a point where it's like, that's not right.
Yeah.
And then I'll say something.
And you're going to get checked.
Yeah.
So, hey, I know you did indoor soccer.
Yeah.
You're a total athlete.
I played on 4 teams when I was 27. Because my
10 years ago.
10 years. Yes. So funny. Well, yes. And I played on an outdoor team and 3 indoor teams.
Oh,
and my outdoor team said, do not play indoor soccer. You're going to hurt your knee.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I never did.
I'm not going to hurt my knee. Like, I never hurt myself. And what did I do? I severed my ACL and had medial and lateral meniscus tears.
Yeah.
And it was really bad. And it changed a lot of things. I'd probably be like competing in the CrossFit games if I hadn't had that happen. However, that is what brought me to yoga and fuels me for my athletes. That is my why. Go. That's why I do what I do.
Well, I tell people, I was like, because I went to physical therapy for my ankles. So when I started to lose the weight, I hit it hard. I was like, I'm an athlete. I used to do this. Like, let's go. And the insanity stuff, the lateral stuff. And I was playing soccer once a week. I was playing basketball once a week. I was playing softball twice a week. So I was just really, utilizing my body to its full potential at the time. And, I got down to 182 from 255. And my ankles took a beating. And what did I do? Oh, I'll just wrap them up. You bring them in. Yeah, you're good.
Thank you. They're so awesome here.
My ankles took a beating, and it was just like, oh, we'll just wrap them up. And so I just wrapped them up and kept running on them for like a good year. Yeah. And then I finally was like, let me go get this checked out. And they're like, yeah, you don't have tendonitis, which is when you sprain your ankle. Yeah. It's become tendinosis because I didn't stop.
Yeah.
And now I have bone spurs and all of that.
Yeah.
But when I would go to physical therapy, I would look around and I was doing yoga like heavily already. And I'm like, they're just doing yoga. Like that's what they're having you do at these physical therapy classes. So if you just stay constant and have a good yoga practice, it doesn't guarantee that you're never going to get hurt. Nothing ever will, right? But you're better prepared for it. Like Kevin Hart talked about that. They were like, why do you work out so hard, and why do you hit it like as hard as you do, and you're so vicious at it? And then he was in this severe car accident. And he looks back now and he's like, if my body wasn't in its tip-top shape, I would have been a goner. Yeah. It would have been done. So it's like, come out, have fun, and also you can take it more serious. Like, I like to come out here. I like to show off my flexibility. I'm proud of it, man. Yeah. So I'm like, I take it serious, but, I love to look behind me and these, girls are just back there shaking their butts, taking a shot or something. It's just like, it's fucking great.
It really is amazing. And you've been on stage with me. Being on stage, you're elevated and you look out at the sea of yoga people.
God. You know how many times I got dizzy up there?
Oh, really? It's a crazy
like
feeling.
Standing up too fast. I don't know. I might have been hungover.
Yeah, and you know what, people? That's why we have a policy where 24-hour notice, you can have a refund. Like you sign up, 24 hours in advance, and then you can't make it. No big deal. You'll be refunded.
Yeah.
But we had to do it to say after 24 hours, like you don't get a refund, because we do have such festive partier types that they would go out till like 3 a.m. and then they're like, I can't make it.
And then their slot, you couldn't book it.
Right.
You couldn't sell
exactly.
It, yeah.
So, and I even had one girl once, it was her birthday and she didn't go to bed, and it was at Whiskey Row and she showed up at 8:30 and she's like, I didn't go to bed. It's my birthday. She's like, I made it. I'm like, wow. And that is like the coolest thing we've seen. Yeah.
But I bet Shabasana, she just like laid out and was down for the count.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that's funny. Yeah, I was up on stage and I don't know what it was. There was a few times where I got really lightheaded. Like vertigo hit me really hard and I was like, oh my God, I'm on stage. I can't fall over. I almost had to lean into you one time.
And at Whiskey Row, it's even higher. Like you are way up there.
Yeah, it's a big stage.
It's a big stage. It's very elevated. It's a cool feeling. And, we've had people like you do a balancing sequence, tree pose, and they take their beers and put it over their head.
Yeah.
And they're balancing, holding their beer. I have a video of, it was actually a friend of mine, Josh. He used to be a regular, and he would bring the most fun guys. Yeah. And I do like having guys there. I just think it just shows that, hey, this is for all.
Everybody. Yep.
Yeah, it's not just for girls. It's not for just young girls. It's for any age. And they did a side plank little thing where they were side planking. They'd grab the beer, push it up, and it's this whole sequence, like crazy thing. They would
almost
wear,
like a synchronized swimmer type of deal. Yeah.
And they would wear, when we first started, Our biggest one was at Whiskey Row. And so this guy, Danny, came in wearing a horse mask. And so we used to like have this horse mask that we would pull out, and it's like the horse at Whiskey Row would be like doing yoga, and it's like, it's hilarious. We've done crazy stuff. We wear disco wigs. And, you know, there are people who come who are like, they're not super serious, but who are regular practitioners, and they don't want to do any party style.
Yeah.
And they are in more towards the back, and they're like giving it their all, and they still use it.
Exactly.
As just like, hey, they bring their friends, and they can have lunch or breakfast afterwards. You know, just a place to go.
You can take it and be as serious as you want. There's always modification. You can make it as hard and as vigorous as you want, and then just kind of like do whatever you want during the partner poses, or, you know, those moments where it's like you allow them to get a little bit more loose.
Yeah.
But then you always rein it back in. It's like, all right, let's get back on task. You know, that's why your playlist comes in handy.
Yeah.
Because you definitely set the tempo up really well with that. And I work at a music store, so it's like your music is a big part of that. So
it's a huge part.
You got it.
And
That's
it's
setup.
funny because I was advised to play music that everybody knows, and that is really what I do. So you know, the songs that we play, everybody knows them, and they're just like, yes. And then you think back to, oh my gosh, when did what the memories that
it takes you right back to the school dance.
Yes. And theming is a big deal, and Topgolf was very instrumental in that. When we first started with them, they're like, hey, you know, will you guys do a 90s theme, because the whole month was 90s, and they had a backdrop, which is super fun. People take selfies,
a step and repeat.
Yeah. And so I was thinking, and I don't even know why I was thinking this way, but I'm thinking 90s, like, what songs are from the 90s? Like, I don't know why, it just wasn't clicking with me. And so then I, Googled,
were your
top
90s just a blur?
That's probably what it was, but that was my biggest party time. Like in the early 90s, I was just able to go to Black Angus and Bobby McGee's and have a good time. So it's like, why don't I, wasn't thinking back to this. And so I Googled top 90 songs. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And that is our most popular theme. 90s theme. And I love it because girls will come wearing thong leotards. They do have yoga pants underneath. So far, we've had, none like wearing, a
there
real
was one
thong.
Accident recently. We won't talk about that,
right.
But it was one.
There have been wardrobe malfunctions.
Yeah.
There have been a few, but it was never intentional. But that's a really fun part. And some people are like, I don't want to dress up. Nobody has to dress up.
There's no pressure.
No pressure. But I'll tell you, most people want to. They want to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what does get people up in the morning. Like, especially for me, like I have to get up at 5:30 to do these events because I'm the one on stage. So I have to look good, and I have to like have one of the most outrageous costumes.
Outfits and all that, yeah.
And so I get up and it's like, I am ready to do this.
Yeah.
And it is kind of funny because if you do make it, this coming event, my dad will be here.
Oh, sweet. Is that my partner?
You are in for it with him because this guy, and it's crazy. When I first started doing the yoga parties, I would be on stage and I would say things and I'm like, oh my gosh, like
that's your dad.
It is. And he is an absolute character, and he's always like loved to dress up, and he has this huge closet that like an armoire that you open up, and there's like Rasta wigs. There's like he is dressed up as a woman to get $1 off at his country club because it's ladies' night. Yeah, like just like outrageous things that he's done. And so he is going to show up if he's feeling well, which I think he should. He's 80, wearing a caddy jumpsuit, all white suits.
Well, because it's golf themed.
It's a golf theme.
That's right.
Yep. Topgolf wanted a golf theme.
The white suit, is that just the Masters, or is that?
I caddied once at the Dinah Shore, which is kind of the ladies. It's equivalent to like the ladies' Masters.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I was asked to caddy for a girl, and I did wear a white jumpsuit, so it's not just at the Masters.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, what do you wear under these? And they're like, you can wear nothing. You can wear like whatever. And so I'm like, okay. But caddying is hard. I mean, it really, especially for pros, because it's like I have to do everything, and I did get some help from the other caddy. Like,
oh, nice.
I'm like, I'm not a real caddy, and this is my first time, and
pointers. Give me some
fun.
Pointers.
It's hard.
Yeah, no, I do plan on being here. I do plan on leaving Vegas Saturday evening to be back here and well rested in time to wake up for my birthday yoga party.
Okay, well, I have to tell you that the one thing you need to know about my dad is that he does go by the nickname the Lipper.
The Lipper.
Yeah, last name is Lipstrew, so he's the Lipper.
Gotcha.
And if he likes you, he will call you his little bitch. He literally does. When he met my husband, I told my husband, RT, that my dad's going to call you a little bitch. And it is a term of endearment.
Yeah.
That's what he does. So if he calls you that, he loves you.
Then I made it.
Yeah,
All right, cool.
exactly. So he probably will call you that. And it's, he's 5'7", and it's like, you wonder like how someone can call a stranger that and they're like high-fiving him, and he just has this like amazing energy and demeanor. Yeah. And so I'm hoping that he's going to come on stage and tell one of his jokes, because as a golf pro, he would come home every night at the dinner table and just tell something hilarious that happened at the course.
Yeah.
Like this guy throws his clubs in the lake every year because he gets so mad, and then he pulls out his credit card and he orders a new set. Like this guy, so we would hear this is happening, but he would always hear jokes. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to have him think of his best joke, and he can tell us the joke.
It's a lot of pressure.
No,
best joke.
He loves it.
Oh, the Lipper handles the pressure well.
Yeah, he did roasts before they were like a thing.
Yeah.
He would roast all his friends.
Yeah.
For their birthdays. There's big birthdays that they would have. I grew up with like tending my dad's roasts for his friends.
Nice.
He would do skits, and I mean he'd wear a tuxedo when he'd be the master of ceremony. Like he's the character, and he would always plan events. And it's like I plan huge events every single month where we dress up, and it's like I'm such a product of his. It's
totally.
just really crazy. Like he's an amazing man, and he's just I love him.
Well, that's
to death.
where we vibe too, because that's what I really like to do that as well. Like I hit a year of golf, so I went from playing 0 golf in 33 years to playing like this last year. I must have played at least like 40 times. And September of 2020 was the first time I had played. And so September of 2021 was coming around, and I was like, maybe I should get a couple guys together. Like 20 people were like, yeah, I'll be down. So I was like, okay, this is an event. I was like, let me reach out to some courses. And I think I ended up with like 26 players. Yeah. And there was like at least 15 that like pulled out last second, which but man, like planning that was just the most fun. Like I love to plan outings like that. Like when you said roast, like my buddy, one of my workout buddies who was very instrumental here, he was moving to Kansas, so we planned this big ruck, which is a weighted backpack, and we went on a like a 3-mile walk with it and did workouts in between, and then we roasted his ass at the end. And I was putting it all together, writing it up, and had my mom make a piñata for us, and like that. When I was in a funk because I'm going through a divorce, like that was like, I think it was like a week after or something. It was like literally like, no, it was literally the same night I signed off. We signed off on our divorce papers that night. We were roasting him, and I was just like this is what brings me like life is these group events, like, and putting it together as well. Like I've always been one to kind of get my band booked or to do X, Y, and Z when it comes to that. And so like I definitely feed off of your vibe in that sense, and I think the little Lipper will be calling me his little bitch.
I think you will too. He is so funny. And he'll try and do yoga too, and he'll probably be wearing a mullet wig.
Yeah.
I mean, just it's interesting. Like you really have to pay attention to how people were raised and how their parents are.
Where is he from?
He is from Northern California.
Okay.
Both my parents, I think actually he was born in Northern California. My mom was born in New York, but then she was an Air Force brat. And so I think she's lived in Northern California the majority of her life. Yeah. And so they're from there. They still live there. And, California, it's kind of it's turned where, they're lifers and they're like, it really sucks here. Like, it's just really a tough place to live right now.
There's just pockets of, if we're going to not go there, but just state it, there's pockets of blue, but a majority of the state, I mean, they're all farmers and outdoors people. And it's like, not everybody falls in line with that. And I mean, that's just what you kind of, that's actually life in general. So like, that's why I thrive in having different groups of friends. Like my yoga people, the people I work out with, musicians. I mean, what more people come from different walks of life than musicians, you know, and everybody I talk to. It's that is going to allow me to not internalize, but reflect on what this other person has to say. And it's like, okay, I can be tested and stand in my previous judgment, or be like, man, I kind of had that wrong, or I can tweak it a little bit, you know? So that's do
people tell you a lot of things? You know, just like be really open with you.
Yeah.
Because you just have it's the same with me. Like, people tell me all sorts of things. Like, it's really crazy. Like, I'll just meet someone and they'll be telling me like their deepest, darkest like struggles in life. Mm-hmm. And I think that when you do a lot of different things and you've been around a lot of different people, that you're able to be compassionate and you're understanding that everybody's different, you know? And again, if you're authentic and you're real with me, that's the most important thing with me. Yeah. You know, that's what I truly appreciate in people. And I don't expect anyone to be like me. I mean, it'd be such a boring place if everyone was the same.
Everybody was, exactly. Like, I'm just like, be as weird as can be, you know? Like, I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I definitely love it.
That's awesome.
I'm looking forward to the kayak trip. I definitely want to jump on board on that.
It's going to be awesome.
Definitely looking forward to my birthday here and Topgolf afterwards.
Yeah.
We need to hit the links sometime soon.
For sure.
And
I love golf. Oh my gosh.
I haven't played in so long now. Like, I literally say that because I went from playing 0 to playing. There's a point there where I was playing like every week. Yeah. I
play like 3 rounds a week.
Do you?
And yesterday I played horribly. And
well, let's go over every shot. Let's relive the nightmare. No, I'm just playing.
Well, what's weird is we played with 2 days ago. We played with this man. Willis was his name, and he's 82. Oh, and he was like the cutest guy. Like, he just was so sweet. And he had a good game, really good game. And I shot 74 that day. I played awesome. Yeah. And then the next day, I'm the same person with the same swing, and I shot 82 yesterday. And it's just like nothing was going right.
Yeah.
But I'm very big on just seeing the silver lining. Yeah. And I figured out what I was doing wrong. And
from one day to the next, though. So what was it?
Well, my swing thought is, when I think swing wide and stretch back, everything is good in my swing.
It's good, yeah.
But it's like, you know, I told my husband, like, why do I even need to like remind myself of this? It's kind of like if I told someone, you need to brush your teeth so you don't have bad breath. It's like, everybody should know you need to brush your teeth, right? Yeah. And it's like, in my swing, it's like, I need to stretch back. And if I swing wide and stretch back, I'm going to play great. So why do I need to continually? It's just such an interesting game.
It's like a mantra almost. Yeah. You know, you literally have to. Like, people ask me, like, what are you thinking about, like, when you go up to hit the ball? And I was like, which one of the 30 things? Like, the stance, the grip, the backswing, the follow through. Like, literally, there's 30 things going through my head. But then all that needs to be erased. Yeah. Once you go to execute, because if you think about it, then you focus on that one thing, and then the mechanics are off.
So for me, I've learned,
you don't take practice swings.
No, I don't. You notice
from
that?
Hitting here?
Yeah, a lot of people comment that I just step up and then I swing, and the reason why this is interesting is that I used to take a practice swing, and my golf coach at the U of A said, "Hey, if you're going to take a practice swing, you need to swing.
Take a legit swing.
A legit swing. Like, you're swinging full force like you would hit the ball." And I just remember thinking, here's my 18-year-old self. Well, I don't want to swing twice as many times. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to do that. So I have never taken a practice swing since I was 18 years old. Whoa. And people do comment on that. But my dad trained me that you can think of a million things on your pre-shot. So, you know, before you even hit the ball. But you can only really think of 1 to 2 things while you're hitting. And
that's true. I've noticed that.
I've had a lot of friends on tour, and they have advised me, like, don't think of anything when you swing. For me, I always have a swing thought. And through my yoga, I've realized that by thinking about what you're going to do keeps you present. And I teach my guys that, like, if your mind is wandering and you can't like focus, think about next play. What are you going to do next? Like, what is in your power? What are you going to do? And that keeps your mind from like, oh man, I just screwed that last hole up, or oh my gosh, I have the 17th island green I have to hit into in 2 holes. Like, you just start wandering, your mind getting like anxious. Yeah. And so for me, I like to think, I have my swing thought of, like my grip, which isn't a swing thought. I stretch back, and then sometimes I have to really think about like finishing, because if I'm nervous, then I won't finish through on my left side.
Yeah.
And so those are my two things that I
Which is great,
go
because
to.
I've commented on your finish. The finish of your swing is
Really?
immaculate.
I've never liked my golf swing. A lot of people give me compliments on it. I'm like, I wish it wasn't so upright, but I'm tall, and it's like, hey, you know what? I get it done, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Mm-hmm. I struggle with perfectionism. So I just try and be, grateful that I can, have some good rounds here and there, and enjoy a sport that I played in college that I get to play my whole life. Like, that's a really cool thing.
Yes.
We play out at Seville Country Club, mm-hmm. and a lot of people we're paired with are ex-college athletes, and tennis, football, baseball. And it's like, it just occurred to me like a month ago, like, how lucky am I that I get to play the sport that I played in college with all these people.
Still, yeah.
I mean, it's really cool. Like, my husband played baseball at the University of Arizona. Mm-hmm. Well, he's a good golfer, but he really struggles with it, like everybody does. Yeah. And in baseball, he was a total stud. So if we were all playing baseball together, we'd be like, man, you're the best,
you're Yeah. Yeah. Golf is really hard. It is. And like you said, like a sport that you can play late into your years in general as well. I mean, didn't Tiger just play another round with his son?
Yes.
And he was in like this horrific car crash like almost a year ago?
Yeah, I was so proud of him. I mean, and that's a neat thing that, people are saying to him, because I don't believe he's 50 yet. Yeah, he's a little bit younger than me. That he, that's a big thing for these guys, on tour, that, once I turn 50, that's like a different level, and then they can start competing again. And so it's a big deal. So I believe he's like 48.
Yeah, because Mickelson's what, 53, 54?
He is 1 year old. So he's like 51, Mickelson. So as soon as he turned 50, it's like game on. And then, it's like a new like chapter in their career. Yeah. And so with Tiger, people are asking him, like, are you going to be able to compete? And he's like, I don't really know. But you know what? I'm sure it will be hard for him, but if he doesn't compete, but at least he can be out playing.
Yeah, and being the major ambassador that he's been.
Yeah, I mean, he's amazing. There's a lot of people, like my mom does not like Tiger Woods at all. And my dad actually doesn't like him either. Yeah. And it's more of his attitude, just like he would get mad, and just like show his temper.
Because he was so passionate.
Yeah. And they didn't appreciate that. So you either love or hate Tiger. For me, I love Tiger Woods, just because he's brought the athleticism to the game. Before, it's like, golf is a game. It's not a sport. Yes. And he has just made it so athletic, and just the diversity in the game. Different races, being able to feel like, this isn't just like this exclusive, thing. And it's like, no. And there's just like, every walk of life is like playing golf now. Mm-hmm. And I just think that Tiger's been very instrumental in that. And I really appreciate that about him.
Yeah, most definitely. He has been making like the 2 points athletic, because here's some guy that's just crushing the ball now. Yeah. Which he paid for. I mean, his spine is fused now or whatnot. But, in his prime, I mean, I don't know. Like, is Nicholas still going to outshine him as the greatest golfer of all time when it's all said and done?
I think it's really close. I think if Tiger wouldn't have had that accident, then he would have outdone him, but I don't think he's going to. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's going to, but it's like, in a way, who cares? Yeah, I did see Tiger at the Masters. Have you ever seen him in person?
No.
It was the craziest thing and I'm not like a starstruck person at all. But I got lost at the Masters for my group. I went in 2009. I've only been once. And so I was just kind of hanging out, and then Tiger's walking from one tee to the next, and he walks right by me, and this dude is larger than life. And he is like so ripped, and just like his presence and his stature when he walks, it's like, damn.
Just so serious.
Yeah, he is in the freaking zone. Yeah. Like, he could be like the poster child from "You're in the zone, this is how you look." Like, he just really impresses me. So I'm really happy to hear like he's recovered. I have an uncle who was in an airplane. He's a pilot. He was in an airplane crash and has had all his lower body rebuilt. And just, you know, I was kind of thinking like, oh my gosh, like he's going to go through what my Uncle Jim went through, where, I mean, just surgery after surgery. And I mean, for Tiger to be where he's at, like so close to having that accident, like seriously. It's really amazing.
So has your uncle played golf?
Oh, yeah. He got married in a wheelchair and was told he would never walk again.
Oh, you don't do that to your family.
Right? He was 24 when that happened, and I think he's 76 now, and I just played golf with him over Thanksgiving.
Wow.
He limps quite a bit, but he's, I mean, really determined. Yeah. And he really, I mean, that's the thing about injury, again, that I teach my athletes, that you know, look at the bright side of everything. Like my knee injury, like really made me appreciate when I'm at Orange Theory running on the treadmill. You know, it's like I'm running. Like this is so cool. How many people appreciate being able to run? Like that's a thing we've been doing our whole life. You know, as kids, you're running all around. And I think it makes you appreciate the little things in life, you know?
Yeah, when you're robbed of something you take for granted, as simple as that. Like, and now you're able to reflect on that and be like, I can't do that again. You know, I can't be taking that for granted. I think that allows you to appreciate the little things more and more. And again, that just translates to everything else. It's
important. It's important to have gratitude. You know, that's just really how I live my life. You know, just being grateful for everything. You know, whenever I communicate with my crowd for Yoga Party Live, it's like if you guys didn't love it and if you didn't attend, like this wouldn't even be happening. You know, so just like appreciating that, you know, I was created by my mom and dad, and I am such a product of them that this is like what I was meant to do, and it brings joy to people. They like it, and I get to do it, and they get to receive it, and we're all like one happy family. Yeah. Like,
come on.
It's just, it's amazing. And we do have, in March, we have, I changed the date to March 13th as I wanted it to be before St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
Because St. Patrick's Day is amazing here. Like I wore a green tutu for the Christmas. That's my St. Patrick's Day tutu. So, and obviously I do have yoga pants underneath. But a lot of girls wear green tutus, you know, shamrock everything. They make green beer here.
Oh, nice.
Just super fun. And then in April, we're going to do the day, I believe it's April 16th, the day before Easter. We're going to have yoga out here. So it will be a Saturday. Normally it's Sunday.
Gotcha.
And I think we'll probably have an Easter bunny.
Yeah.
And again, just kind of like the Santa yoga here. That, you know, people, more kids than normal.
Yes.
And just, you know, really get to have it's just each month is something different. And of course, celebrating people's birthdays.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
All great things to look forward to. I don't know. Anything else you want to touch on?
I think that we've covered all of it. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, come on.
To talk with you.
Yeah.
You know, it's really great to be able to talk about, you know, what I've been blessed to have accomplished, and just keep it going with the community and spreading the love. Spreading the love.
That's it. I definitely knew within like 5 minutes of meeting you that it was going to be you're a great individual, and you know, I'm glad we crossed paths, because
for sure
when I talked to you on the phone, I was like, who's this crazy lady like demanding all these things,
right?
And I'm just like, okay, it's just someone who knows what she wants, and then we met up, and that was it. That's it. That's all it took.
That's it. And that's a lot of my friends how I've met. It's just like you instantly know I'm going to be friends with this person forever.
Yeah.
It's really wild.
Yeah. Well, I can tell that you, like you say, you speak gratitude and you live it. So that's great. I had a really good time, you know, hanging out with you and with Ron. Like what a catch. You guys for each other. That's awesome.
So crazy. I knew him for 12 years before we ever went out. I was married previously, and we would see each other at a golf tournament every year. And apparently he just had it for me from the moment he met me. Yeah. And we come from the same background. We have the same type of upbringing. We both played college sports at the U of A, which we know that we're in Sun Devil territory here and people hate on us. But, you know, I mean, just down to like we played golf at the same, you know, or we played college sports at the same place. Yeah. And just, it's just amazing when we were finally, you know, he asked me out. I'm like, because he's 12 years older than me, and I'd never really dated anyone older. And it's like, you know what? I'm kind of digging this, I like it. And it just was like, I hope everyone gets to experience what I'm living right now. It just is, it's out there and it is possible.
Yeah, it is. It is for a lot of people.
Right?
I don't believe it's for me.
Well, one thing that I on my wish list at Yoga Party Live, and it has not happened yet, is that I do want
someone to propose.
I do.
Whoa.
I want a proposal at Yoga Party Live. Now, I don't want to put anyone on the spot out there, but Tamala and Wes have been dating for quite a while.
Yeah, I thought they were like already, but no. Yeah,
that could be a possibility right there.
Uh-huh.
Sammy Ortiz, she helps check in. She has a new guy that she is crazy about, so it could be Sammy someday.
Okay.
Sean, he doesn't have a girlfriend yet, but maybe he will. I don't know. I think if he was going to, this would be a good place for him.
It would, Sean. It would.
So that's one thing that I hope happens someday.
Wow.
I think.
Would you want to be in on it, or would you just want it to happen and you'd be like, what's going on right now?
I won't even be picky. I love witnessing these things. And at our yoga retreat when we did Devil's Bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, and it makes me cry. I guess I'm a romantic, and I just think it's cool that we were waiting. Have you ever done the Devil's Bridge hike?
No.
It's super cool. You definitely need to do it.
Is that Tonto?
It is Sedona.
Okay.
So way up there, and you go out on this rock bridge that I don't even know how to say. It's there.
Yeah.
The word is escaping me, but you go out there and we'd have 20 girls, and it's just unbelievable. So you have to wait like an hour to get on to the rock bridge.
Everybody's taking photos.
Taking pictures. Mm-hmm. And so as we were waiting, this guy goes out and he proposes on the bridge. And there's probably 100 people waiting.
Yeah.
And it's like all of us are just like crying, and it's like, oh my gosh, like it's just like such a cool thing. Yeah. Ron proposed to me on the runway at the Scottsdale Air Park.
Uh-huh.
There's a restaurant right there.
Yeah.
And so it was right there, and then you could see a helicopter coming and picked us up and flew us back to Mesa, and we just flew over the Salt River, and it's really neat what guys decide to do. So if it's not for you, I wouldn't want to put someone on the spot, because it is a very neat thing. But I'll tell you, that guy, the girls were like, you are a stud for proposing on Devil's Bridge. I mean, so gorgeous.
Yeah. I wonder if they were both hikers too, right? So that just go hand in hand.
There's got to be something behind it. I mean, I think that's the key too, is just finding if this is your jam, and that's why Tamala and Wes, if you're listening, this would be perfect for you guys.
They're awesome. Yeah.
They really are.
They're so awesome. Yeah.
We met him. We used to do yoga at the Sandbar. And Tamala's like, I met this guy. I went out with him last night. He's going to come to Yoga Party Live after. Mm-hmm. And so he shows up and he's wearing this T-shirt and it says, vote for Sparky. So the Sun Devil. Yeah. And so he shows up and he's got this big smile and everyone's like, who is this guy? It's just, again, you look at someone and the energy, it's like, do never let this guy get away. Mm-hmm. He just is the coolest person. Yeah, I'm cool. So happy for her that she found him. So wherever he wants to do it someday, but I do think they're the perfect couple. I really do.
Yeah, they are. If I think of a yoga party couple, that's definitely them. Yeah.
When they're not able to make it, it's like, bummer.
Yeah, they weren't at the Halloween one, right? Maybe they were.
No, she was, because she wore the coolest outfit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and then he showed up separately. But I remember at the gun club, I was next to Wes both times.
Yeah, they go to a lot of football games and they go to concerts. So, I mean, if they're gone, you're doing something, it's like, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I want you there. Yeah. But, some people have been like, oh, I'm so sorry, I can't make it. And it's like, hey, I'll miss you. Yeah. But you don't have to be sorry.
Yeah, you don't catch me as somebody that would be like, oh, I hurt by that. It's like, no, go live your life. Yeah. And if that includes me in this moment, awesome. But otherwise, go do something fun. Yeah. Yeah. So that's Yoga Party Live in a nutshell. Where can folks follow you and stay up to date? Yeah. Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, so the best way, we have a Facebook page, Yoga Party Live, Instagram at Yoga Party Live, and to sign up, we have a website, which is yogapartylive.com. Hey. And then we're booking through Vagaro, which a lot of people, their hair person books through Vagaro, Vagaro.com. And that is the easiest way to download the Vigaro app. It's free, and to just type in Yoga Party Live and you can book right there, or just go through our website.
Gotcha.
And then, some people are, have issues where they can't figure things out. So they'll send me an email and it's like, hey, I'll help you out.
Yeah.
Like, I always answer email right away, or even call people. And they're like, oh my gosh, the Yoga Party Live girl called me. I'm like, it's a little business and I do whatever people need.
Yeah, you're very that type of. You're a salesperson, so you're the relationship, the builder is what they're referred to. If I'm remembering the book, I'd recommend you. It's a quick read. It's called "Selling the Wheel."
Oh,
and
I haven't heard of that one.
No, it's so good. It's so good. Just like a quick gloss over. It's basically this guy invents the wheel. And we now know the wheel. It's like, yeah, it's an amazing invention. Well, he's trying to sell it back in before the wheel exists. And it's just like any new technology. Everybody's like, well, why do I need it? Well, let's become more efficient. Well, there's no roads, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So it shows, I think it was like 4 or 5 main salespeople. The guy that sells the dream, the guy that builds the relationships, the guy, the salesperson that runs like the department store, and those are all kind of sprinkled in there. But I definitely, the one that I mesh with the most, which is I think you're on board, is the builder, the relationship type of salesperson per se. Because at the end of the day, you might be providing a product and a service, but we are attracted to how it makes us feel, the experience in that. Like at Topgolf, you can go anywhere and hit balls, but at Topgolf, you get the all-inclusive experience, a good bar, some great food, unlimited balls, targets.
So fun.
Yeah, everything, right? TVs,
and
music.
The elements. Like, I think, you don't have the sun directly on you when it's hot. They have misters going.
Yeah.
Like, it's been too hot for us to play. So it's like, hey, we want to play golf. Let's just go to Topgolf.
Yes.
The people who work here are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, they just it's kind of like our crowd. And that's why I think we mesh so well with Topgolf. Like, they are my number one venue that I love. I teach party style yoga. They have party style golf.
Yeah.
If you think about the fit with that, it's just ridiculous. And the terrace, how beautiful is this?
Yes.
With the stage and the views and the bar right at the end. I mean, it's great.
It's a great setup. I'm glad you're in here. I'm glad we connected.
For sure.
We should do this again ASAP. And I get to dig into that mind of yours some more.
I love it. Yeah, I love to talk.
Yeah, you were like, what's this about? And I'm like, it's literally just a conversation.
Yeah.
Let me pick that brain. And because it just helps me grow. Wonderful. That's it.
Well, thank you for being a good friend and helping out and doing what you do.
Oh, no, my pleasure and my honor. So I'll catch you guys the 23rd.
Yes.
It's a Sunday this month for my birthday retreat. Not retreat, but
your
yoga
class.
Party. Yeah, my class. And then we'll see you the next month, and then the next month, and then the next month. There's an event every month. And if you get married, your bachelorette party could book through.
Yes. We'd love doing bachelorette parties.
Perfect. All right, Donna.
Okay, thank you.
We'll wrap this up. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Go sign up. Bye.
Fun.
Yeah. Take a picture with the babe one way or another. I'ma get you.